Hey there, amazing people. If this is your first time here, welcome to the family. You've just found a channel that's all about enriching your mind, inspiring your growth, and helping you find real solutions to everyday challenges. Now, let's talk about something real, something that affects almost every relationship, even the happiest ones, money. Yep, the thing that builds dreams, but also breaks hearts. Today's topic, why couples fight about money and how to end the silent war, is going to open your eyes to what's really happening behind those financial arguments, and how you can finally turn money from a point of tension into a source of teamwork. Because trust me, this isn't just about dollars or budgets, it's about communication, trust, and emotional connection. So grab a cup of coffee, take a deep breath, and let's dive into the truth about love and money, and how you can finally bring peace back into your relationship. You ready? Let's end the silent war. Together. Episode 1. The Hidden Battle, Why Money Feels So Personal. Money. It's one of the most practical things in life, and yet one of the most emotional. Every couple fights about it at some point. But when you look deeper, those fights aren't really about dollars and cents. They're about trust, safety power, and sometimes love. In this episode, we explore why money can turn into a battlefield inside relationships, and how understanding its emotional language can change everything. The unseen battlefield. For most couples, money isn't just currency. It's a story, a symbol, a reflection of who we think we are, and who we fear we might become. When one partner says, "we need to save," what they really mean might be, "I'm scared we'll lose control." When the other says, "let's enjoy life," what they might be saying is, "I want to feel alive, not trapped." The argument isn't about the budget. It's about belonging. It's about being seen and respected for the values behind your choices. Every couple carries invisible money stories, inherited from childhood, shaped by experience, powered by emotion. When those stories collide, conflict begins, the emotional language of money. Money has its own emotional vocabulary. To one person, saving means safety. To another, spending means freedom. To one, debt feels like failure. To another, it feels like survival. So when partners disagree, they're not speaking different opinions. They're speaking different emotional languages. Think about it. If you grew up watching your parents argue about money, you might associate financial talk with fear. If you grew up with scarcity, you might cling to every dollar. If you grew up with abundance, you might not understand that fear at all. Financial conflict isn't a numbers issue, it's an emotional translation issue. Once you learn to translate your partner's money language, everything changes. The same conversation stops feeling like attack versus defense and starts feeling like discovery. Emma and Jake had been married 7 years. Emma was a saver. Jake was a spender. Every payday, Emma moved money into savings. Jake felt restricted. Every time Jake made a spontaneous purchase, Emma felt unsafe. They weren't arguing about money, they were arguing about emotion. Emma's savings meant protection. Her childhood had been filled with uncertainty. Jake's spending meant relief. He'd spent years feeling deprived. Once they understood that, the tension softened. They didn't change who they were. They changed how they listened. They built a system together. One account for stability, one for joy. And for the first time, money stopped being a secret war and became shared freedom. The science behind the fight. Research shows that money disagreements are one of the top predictors of divorce. But here's what most people miss. It's not the amount of conflict that breaks couples apart. It's the way they handle it. When couples shut down, withdraw, or use money as control, trust erodes. When they stay curious, listen, and stay honest, trust grows. In psychology, we call this emotional regulation, the ability to stay connected even when triggered. Financial peace isn't about earning more, it's about feeling safe while talking about less. your first step toward peace. So where do you start? Not with spreadsheets, not with budgets, with a conversation. Ask each other this simple question. What did money feel like growing up for you? That question opens doors. You'll start hearing not just what your partner thinks, but why they feel the way they do. Listen for stories, not solutions. Compassion first, planning later. When couples understand the emotions behind their habits, they stop fighting the symptoms and start healing the cause. Tonight, before bed, take 5 minutes, turn off your phones, look at each other and ask, what does money mean to you? In one word. You might hear words like freedom, fear, security, or love. Whatever it is, that's your truth. That's where connection begins. Money will always matter. But peace around money? That's a choice. When you replace silence with understanding, when you replace blame with curiosity, when you replace control with teamwork, you don't just fix your finances, you strengthen your love. In the next episode, we'll explore the emotional language of money, how your spending and saving habits reveal the hidden patterns that shape your relationship. Because the goal isn't to win the money war, it's to end it together. Episode 2. The emotional language of money. Every couple speaks two languages, the one made of words and the one made of emotions. Money is fluent in both. But when you don't understand its emotional grammar, every conversation turns into confusion. In this episode, we'll decode the emotional language of money, the hidden meanings behind saving, spending, and control. Because if you can learn to speak your partner's financial language, you can learn to love them better. The hidden code beneath every transaction. Every purchase, every saving habit, every financial choice tells a story. A coffee on the go might not be about caffeine, it might be about comfort. A strict budget might not be about money, it might be about safety. We think we're talking about numbers, but we're really talking about needs. Every time you say, "We can't afford that," your partner might hear, "You don't deserve it." Every time they say, "Let's live a little," you might hear, "You don't take this seriously." The words are logical. The meaning is emotional. The 4 emotional money types. After decades of working with couples, I've found that most people fall into one of 4 emotional money types. Not good or bad, just different languages. 1. The protector. Their priority is security. They save, plan, and prepare. They feel safest when things are predictable. Their fear, loss, or instability. 2. The pleasure seeker. Their priority is enjoyment. They believe life is for living, not just surviving. They fear missing out, and they see money as a tool for experience. 3. The achiever. They link money to success. For them, financial growth equals self-worth. They fear failure more than debt. 4. The giver. They use money to create connection. They find joy in generosity, helping others, or nurturing family. Their fear is rejection, or being seen as selfish. Now here's the twist. Most conflict comes when 2 different types try to love each other through money. A protector married to a pleasure seeker often feels anxious. An achiever married to a giver may feel unappreciated. And when both are protectors, life can feel safe but stale. The goal isn't to change each other's type, it's to translate it. Nina grew up in a family that lost everything twice. She became a protector, detailed, disciplined, always saving for a rainy day. Carlos was raised in a culture that celebrated generosity. He became a giver, always paying for dinner, always helping a friend in need. At first, their differences felt complementary. Then, tension grew. Nina saw Carlos's generosity as recklessness. Carlos saw Nina's saving as coldness. When they finally sat down to talk, I asked them one question. What emotion are you trying to protect with your money habits? Nina said, peace of mind. Carlos said, connection. Once they saw that, they stopped arguing about habits and started negotiating emotions. They created a shared rule. Each month, A set amount went to savings, and another to generosity. No guilt, no judgment, just balance. The psychology of safety and freedom. At the heart of every financial decision lies a tension between two needs: safety and freedom. Safety says, hold on. Freedom says, let go. Every relationship is a dance between the two. The saver tries to create safety for the team. The spender tries to create freedom for the team. But when they stop communicating, safety turns into control, and freedom turns into chaos. When couples learn to honor both, the need to protect and the need to enjoy, money stops being a weapon and starts becoming a bridge. Discover your money language. Here's a short activity you can try today. Step 1. Each of you writes down one sentence. Money makes me feel A. Step 2. Finish the sentence honestly. Examples might be safe, trapped, proud, anxious, alive, guilty. Step 3. Read them aloud. Don't argue. Just listen. That's your partner's money language in its rawest form. Once you know what emotion drives your financial behavior, you stop reacting to the symptom and start healing the source. One couple I worked with, Mark and Leah, both earned good money. But every time Leah wanted to invest, Mark froze. He called it being practical. She called it being scared. In truth, both were right. Mark's parents had lost money during a bad business deal. Investing felt like danger. Leah had grown up poor. Investing felt like liberation. When they learned this, they built a compromise. Mark handled risk assessment. Leah handled opportunity research. Together, they invested small at first, slowly building confidence. Within a year, Mark wasn't afraid anymore. Because the conversation wasn't about money anymore, it was about healing, the bridge between understanding and peace. When you understand your partner's emotional money type, everything softens. You stop labeling them as cheap or careless and start seeing them as someone trying to feel safe in their own way. You don't have to agree on everything. You just have to stay curious. Curiosity creates connection. Connection creates trust. And trust, not income, is the real foundation of financial peace. Money will always carry emotion. The key is learning to speak it with compassion. When you understand your partner's financial language, you don't just change your budget, you change your relationship. In the next episode, we'll look at power and control, how money shapes influence inside relationships, and how couples can build true financial equality without fear or resentment. Because love isn't about who earns more, it's about how you build together. Episode 3: Power, Control, and Financial Equality. In every relationship, money carries power. Not just the power to buy or save, but the power to decide, to control, to define who leads and who follows. Sometimes that power builds trust. Sometimes it builds walls. In this episode, we explore how financial control can quietly shape love and how equality, real equality, can transform not just your finances, but your partnership. The invisible balance of power. Every couple creates a financial rhythm. One may manage the bills, one may earn more, one may plan for the future. That rhythm can stay in balance, or it can tilt, slowly, toward control. Control doesn't always look like abuse. Sometimes it looks like convenience. I'll handle the money. I'll take care of it. And at first, it feels helpful, even loving. But when one partner stops having a voice, when decisions are made without discussion, that love begins to turn into silence. The three faces of financial control. Financial control usually wears three faces. First, the protector. This person manages everything in the name of security. Budgets are strict, access is limited, and their partner feels monitored instead of supported. Second, the provider. This person earns more and believes that earning means authority. They decide how money should be used, often unconsciously linking income to power. Third, the passive partner. They surrender financial responsibility completely, not out of trust, but out of fear or avoidance. They say, "You handle it," and over time, they lose confidence and voice. In all three patterns, connection fades, because money without transparency becomes control without consent. David and Mia had what looked like a perfect marriage. David was successful. Mia stayed home with their children. He paid the bills. She managed the home. When the economy shifted, David's business began to struggle. But he didn't tell Mia. He borrowed to keep things looking normal. He said nothing, because he didn't want her to worry. By the time Mia found out, they were deep in debt. But the real damage wasn't financial. It was emotional. David had tried to protect his wife from pain, but what he really protected was his pride. When they rebuilt, they created a new rule. No secrets, no surprises. Every decision was shared. Every account was open. And slowly, the power turned into partnership. Equality isn't about income. Financial equality doesn't mean earning the same amount. It means having equal voice, equal respect, and equal access. One partner might earn more, but both should understand how the money moves. Equality sounds like this. I want us to decide this together. I want you to know what's happening. I want us both to feel safe. When both partners see the full picture, there's no room for suspicion, only collaboration. The power of transparency. Transparency is the heartbeat of financial equality. It's not just about sharing passwords or account balances, it's about sharing intentions. It's saying, "This is what I'm saving for. This is what scares me. This is what I hope for us." When money becomes part of your shared story instead of your private burden, you move from control to connection. Rita and James were both successful professionals. They earned similar incomes, but their fights were constant. James earned slightly more and felt that gave him more say in financial decisions. Rita started hiding purchases, not to deceive him, but to protect her independence. In therapy, we explored what each was really protecting. For James, money meant worth. For Rita, it meant freedom. The solution wasn't to balance their paychecks, it was to balance their power. They created 3 accounts: yours, mine, and ours. Each contributed proportionally to shared goals, and each kept a personal account for individual freedom. Within months, the tension disappeared. Freedom and fairness began to coexist. The Financial Equality Framework. Here's a simple structure any couple can use. Step 1. Open access. Both partners should know where every account and expense lives. No locked drawers, no hidden credit cards. Step 2. Defined roles. Divide responsibilities based on strengths, not gender or ego. The goal is teamwork, not territory. Step 3. Regular money meetings. Schedule a calm monthly check-in. Talk about goals, worries, and adjustments. Celebrate small wins together. Step 4. Personal freedom. Each partner gets a discretionary fund. No permission needed. Autonomy keeps equality alive. Healing financial imbalance. If you've lived in financial control or secrecy for years, the road back can feel awkward, even frightening. Start small. Share one account statement. Have one transparent conversation. Take one decision together. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Healing financial imbalance is like rebuilding trust. It happens slowly, with honesty, patience, and compassion. Power with money is not about control, it's about responsibility, transparency, and care. When you lead together, you grow together. When both voices matter, money becomes a tool for unity, not division. In the next episode, we'll uncover how to talk about money without turning it into a fight. You'll learn the 5-step framework that turns tension into teamwork and silence into understanding. Because financial equality isn't the end goal, it's the beginning of trust. Episode 4. Communication without conflict. Talking about money shouldn't feel like walking through a minefield, but for most couples, it does. One wrong word and the conversation explodes. Silence feels safer until resentment grows in that silence. In this episode, we'll explore how to talk about money without turning it into a fight. You'll learn a simple 5-step communication framework that builds trust, clarity, and teamwork. even in tough financial moments. Why talking about money feels so hard? Most couples don't avoid money because they don't care. They avoid it because they're scared. Scared of judgment, scared of rejection, scared of losing peace. When one person brings up money, the other often hears criticism. What happened to our savings? Sounds like you failed. Why did you buy that? Sounds like you don't care. But here's the truth. Money conversations don't cause disconnection. Fear does. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of being blamed, fear of losing love. When you remove fear from the conversation, you create space for honesty. The cycle of conflict. Money fights usually follow a pattern. It starts with tension, a bill, a purchase, a difference in values. Then comes defensiveness. I was just trying to help. Why do you always overreact? Then withdrawal. Forget it. It's not worth talking about. The conversation ends, but the emotion stays, buried and waiting for the next spark. That's the silent war. Not shouting, not arguing, but shutting down. Breaking the cycle starts with changing how you talk, not just what you say. The five-step framework, CALMS. Here's the communication system I teach couples. 5 simple steps to turn conflict into collaboration. The framework is called CALMS. Each letter stands for one mindset shift. C. Curiosity before criticism. Start the conversation with questions, not conclusions. Instead of saying, "Why did you spend that much?" say, "Help me understand what that purchase meant to you." Curiosity lowers defenses. It tells your partner, "I want to understand you, not attack you." A. Acknowledge the emotion. Money carries feelings: fear, pride, guilt, excitement. Ignoring the emotion makes logic impossible. Say things like, "I can see that this stresses you," or "I know this makes you anxious." Acknowledgement creates safety, and safety opens the door to truth. L. Listen actively. When your partner talks, don't plan your rebuttal. Listen for the need behind their words. If they say, "We're spending too much," they might mean, "I'm scared we'll lose control." If they say, "You're too strict," they might mean, "I need to feel free." Listening isn't agreement, it's respect. And respect is the soil where resolution grows. Mind your timing. Don't start money talks when emotions are high or time is short. Choose calm, neutral moments, not the middle of a crisis. A Sunday morning coffee works better than a midnight argument. A calm tone opens hearts faster than a raised voice ever could. Share solutions, not blame. Once both perspectives are clear, shift from you versus me to us versus the problem. Ask, what can we do differently next time? How can we make this easier for both of us? Collaboration replaces conflict. The moment you say "we," the war ends. Sarah and Ben fought about money for years. She was a saver. He was spontaneous. Their fights always ended the same way: silence. She felt unheard. He felt controlled. When they learned the CALMS method, everything changed. One night, Ben bought a new gaming setup without telling Sarah. Normally, this would have started a fight. But instead, Sarah asked, "What made you want to buy it?" Ben admitted he'd been stressed from work and wanted something to unwind. Sarah shared her concern about their budget, calmly. Together, they agreed on a new system. Each of them would have a personal spending limit. No questions asked, no yelling, no resentment, just understanding. The power of neutral language. The words you choose shape the entire tone of the conversation. So choose words that invite cooperation, instead of "you always" or "you never." Try "I feel" or "I noticed," instead of "you're wasting money." Try "I'm worried about our goals." Neutral language calms the nervous system. It turns emotional triggers into logical dialogue, building the habit. Healthy financial communication isn't a one-time fix. It's a practice. Try scheduling money meetings once a month. Keep them short, focused, and calm. Start with gratitude, one thing you appreciate about your partner. Then review finances together. End with something hopeful, a shared goal, a dream, or a small win. These meetings don't just manage money, they maintain connection, healing through understanding. Remember, money is just a mirror. When you look into it, it shows your fears, your values, your priorities. If you learn to communicate with kindness, you don't just fix money issues, you strengthen emotional trust. When couples learn to talk about money calmly, they stop trying to win and start trying to understand. That's where peace begins. Money talks don't have to be tense. They can be opportunities for honesty, for teamwork, for growth. When you choose curiosity over criticism, acknowledgement over assumption, and teamwork over blame, you transform not just your finances, but your love. In the next episode, we'll explore healing financial wounds, how to rebuild trust after money mistakes, and how forgiveness can become your most powerful investment. Because communication builds bridges, but forgiveness keeps them standing. Episode 5: Healing Financial Wounds. Money mistakes don't just drain bank accounts, they drain trust, a secret purchase, a hidden debt, a promise broken. When that happens, the numbers can be fixed, but the relationship feels fragile. In this episode, we'll explore how to heal financial wounds, how to rebuild trust after money mistakes, and how forgiveness can become the most powerful form of financial recovery, the invisible pain behind the numbers. When money breaks trust, it's rarely just about the money itself. It's about what that money represented: security, honesty, partnership. A hidden credit card feels like betrayal. A lie about spending feels like rejection. Even small financial secrets can create big emotional cracks. That's because money is intertwined with safety. When you hide it, you're not just hiding receipts, you're hiding fear. And when fear meets silence, pain turns into distance. Healing that distance requires something numbers can't calculate: vulnerability, the 3 layers of financial pain. Every financial wound has 3 layers. The first layer is the event, the purchase, the lie, the mistake. It's what happened on the surface. The second layer is the emotion, the shame, guilt, anger, or fear that followed. This is where most couples stop talking, because it hurts. The third layer is the belief, the deeper story that begins to form: I can't trust you. I'm not enough. You'll never change. True healing happens when couples reach this third layer, when they stop replaying the event and start rewriting the belief. Tom and Lila had been married for 10 years. Tom carried a secret, a hidden credit card he used to cover old business debts. When Lila found out, she felt shattered. Not just because of the debt, but because Tom had looked her in the eyes and said everything was fine. In therapy, Tom admitted he wasn't trying to deceive her. He was trying to protect her and his pride. Lila's healing didn't come from an apology alone. It came from consistency. For months, Tom shared every payment, every plan, every update. He showed transparency through action. One evening, Lila said softly, I don't just see the numbers improving. I see you trying. That's when trust began to return, the 3 steps to rebuilding trust. If financial betrayal has happened in your relationship, healing takes more than words. It takes a process. Here's how it begins. Step 1. Reveal. Tell the full truth, not half of it. Secrets feed fear, honesty feeds healing. Step 2. Repair. Create a concrete plan to fix the damage, both emotional and financial. If there's debt, build a repayment strategy together. If there's distrust, set accountability check-ins. Step 3. Reconnect. Healing isn't just about fixing a problem, it's about restoring closeness. Do something that reminds you why you're a team. Take a walk, cook dinner, dream again. When connection returns, forgiveness follows. The role of forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing peace over punishment. It's saying, I still see your worth even though you made a mistake. In relationships, forgiveness is not a single moment. It's a series of small, consistent choices. Each time you choose patience over anger, honesty over silence, hope over bitterness, you rebuild what was broken, one day at a time. The psychology of repair. Studies in relationship psychology show that when couples face financial betrayal, those who recover strongest share three traits. 1. Transparency. They rebuild visibility over secrecy. 2. Consistency. They prove reliability through daily actions. 3. Empathy. They stay curious about each other's pain. It's not about who was right or wrong. It's about whether both are willing to rebuild the bridge, stone by stone. Here's a gentle practice to try. Sit together, take a deep breath, and complete these two sentences, one at a time. What hurt me most was, what I need moving forward is, then switch. Listen, not to respond, but to understand. This simple exchange can reopen a door that's been closed for years. One couple I coached, Malik and Jenna, faced $60,000 of secret credit card debt. Jenna had been hiding it out of shame. When Malik found out, his first reaction was rage. But instead of walking away, he took a breath and said, "I want to understand how we got here." That sentence changed everything. Together, they faced the debt, side by side. They met with a financial counselor. They built a realistic repayment plan. And they started having monthly money and meaning check-ins. Today, the debt is nearly gone. But more importantly, so is the silence, the gift of healing together. Financial healing is a mirror of emotional healing. It takes time, courage, and compassion. When couples walk through pain together, they discover a deeper strength, a kind of trust that can't be bought or borrowed. Because once you've faced brokenness and chosen to rebuild, you've proven that love can outlast fear. Money will test your relationship, but it can also transform it. Healing doesn't erase what happened, it redefines what's possible. When you replace secrets with honesty, shame with understanding, and blame with forgiveness, you don't just fix the finances, you create unshakable trust. In the next episode, we'll explore from chaos to clarity, how to build practical financial systems that keep love and money in harmony. Because healing is the foundation, but structure keeps peace alive. Hey there, amazing people! If you've been following The Silent War so far, you already know this journey isn't just about money, it's about healing what money has broken. And next week, we're taking that healing to a whole new level. Because what comes next is the heart of the story, the turning point where couples move from chaos to clarity, from fear to freedom, and from conflict to connection. Episode 6. Chaos to Clarity. In this episode, we uncover how confusion around money fuels emotional distance, and how one simple shift in awareness can bring everything into focus. You'll learn how to replace blame with understanding and set the foundation for financial peace at home. Episode 7. The Turning Point. Every couple has that moment when something finally clicks. We'll explore how small acts of honesty and accountability can rebuild trust faster than any spreadsheet, and how forgiveness opens the door to partnership again. Episode 8. Debt, Doubt, and Rebuilding Trust. Debt isn't just a number, it's emotional weight. In this chapter, we'll talk about facing debt together, handling financial shame, and turning "I can't believe you did that" into "We've got this" together. Episode 9. Financial Intimacy. Money talk doesn't have to be awkward. This episode reveals how real couples are learning to make finances a part of emotional closeness, sharing goals, dreams, and fears openly without judgment. You'll see how financial intimacy becomes one of the most powerful forms of love. Episode 10. The Forever Plan. And finally, we wrap up with a vision, not just for surviving financially, but thriving as a family. The Forever Plan will guide you in building habits, systems, and a shared purpose that keep love and money working in harmony for life. Each of these episodes is more than just advice. It's a step-by-step journey to financial healing. You'll learn how to silence the blame, reconnect through trust, and turn your home into a place where peace, not pressure, defines your finances. So if you're ready to go deeper, to heal together, and to write a new story for your family's financial future, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join us next week when the silent war continues. Because your breakthrough might be just one episode away.